Good evening, Saigon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oscar. I'm a lawyer from Spain, and the reason I'm here today is because I wanted to visit 100 countries by the age of 30. What happened? What happened? Last month I turned 30 years old. So I'm gonna tell you how it all started. When I was a kid, I remember my parents saying like, "Oh, you're really born for traveling." And I was telling them, "Look, every time I go to a country, I will bring you one plate from each of the countries I go to. Another wall is full of plates." Even my father told me, "Well, actually, we need to make a new wall because we have no longer space here." So. I also, with my grandparents used to take me to the bookstore and they would say, choose one book, and then I would choose the book from a traveling destination and I will learn about that country and I will go to the school and brag about it. I know the capital of Namibia, I know the capital of Zimbabwe. Well, what's the capital of Paraguay? I will know them all. I was born for traveling. So when I was 18, I think I've only traveled to like 4 or 5 countries in the world. I come from the countryside, from a humble family, and back then there was no internet, so I couldn't afford to travel that much. So when I was 18, I only traveled to like 4 or 5 countries, and then I moved to Madrid. I started traveling in Europe. I was lucky enough that in Europe, the low-cost companies were coming, and I was able to like travel to Germany, Greece, or Norway like for 20 euros. My mother was calling me like, "Hey, what's happening? Why don't you come home?" I say, "Well, I'm going to Greece this weekend, and next week I'm going to Norway." It was cheaper for me to go to Greece or Norway than to go to my hometown, you know? So that's how I started like traveling in Europe. And then when I finished my studies, I realized that I needed 3 things in order to travel all around the world. One of them was sacrifice. I needed to leave my country. I've never worked in Spain. I needed to leave my country, go travel, and go live in another country, another city. Second one, be fearless. Don't be afraid of traveling. And third one, adaptability. You need to adapt to different cultures, need different people. So you need to be like a chameleon. Then I started working in different countries. First, I went to Serbia. That allowed me to travel all around the Balkans. Then I went to Czech Republic, Central Europe, Bulgaria, Eastern Europe. And then I moved to Turkey. In Turkey, I was able to travel the Middle East. When I was in Turkey, I was lucky enough that Turkish Airlines was starting to grow a lot. So they were opening new destinations for a very cheap price. I was able to travel to different continents like Africa, Asia. So that was adding up to the count. I got tired of what I was doing in Turkey. I quit my job, and with the money I saved, I went backpacking to South America. I thought with the money I had, I was going to be able to like travel for like 3 months, but the people in South America were so nice to me. I didn't need to pay for accommodation there, so I ended up staying for 6 months. And then, story of my life, I ran out of money, so I have to work again. Then I have to search for a job in the United States. I saved some money, traveled to Central America, and I was achieving some goals by then, like visiting the new 7 world wonders. Then again, I ran out of money, so what's next? I wanted to come to Southeast Asia. Well, you remember I told you I've been living in Turkey, so I had this miles car. I had a lot of points in my car, so I could travel for free to Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, there were 3 destinations for Turkish Airlines. So my priority was Bangkok, Jakarta, and then Ho Chi Minh City. What happened? That I didn't know about Ho Chi Minh City. That's why it was the 3rd. The first 2 were full, so I ended up coming to Ho Chi Minh City. And then, I liked it. I found a job here, and I'm really happy here. So I started traveling around Southeast Asia. I got to visit the 10 countries of ASEAN and everything. At the beginning of this year, 2016, 1st of January, I was in Myanmar, and I realized Myanmar is my 19th country. Vietnam was 87th. Myanmar is my 19th country. I have 8 months to achieve the goal, which is 100 countries. So I started like, I think I can make it. I started traveling in 2016 a lot. And then this summer vacation, I went to Qatar, to South Africa, to Australia. So Australia was my 90th country. But what was the problem then? I ran out of countries around Vietnam. I didn't know where to go next. There were no more countries around here. And I didn't have more holidays. I didn't have leave days, so what to do? So I was sitting down with my colleagues there in the office, and we were like, where should I go next? So for the 99th country, well, here, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Here you see a picture of my trip to South Africa, and then next we'll go, this is the 90th, there should be 97, 98th is Australia, and 99th, we were thinking about where to go next. So we thought of Bangladesh, but the problem in Bangladesh is that everywhere I was reading that it was very dangerous. I didn't care. I went to Bangladesh and decided that I was gonna do something crazy in Bangladesh. So I went to the street and I started taking 99 selfies with 99 people on the streets of Bangladesh. And then for the 100th country, it should be like a spectacular place, a place that I dream of. So I ended up going to Maldives. Maldives was my 100th destination. Yeah, I made it. It was my 30th birthday, my 100th country, and also a honeymoon. You see, I don't need to marry anymore. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the event tonight. Have a wonderful time and happy travels.